City via Los Angeles, California, it's time for The View from Over Here with the man who has a view for all seasons, your host, Stan Weisleder.
Glamorous Sunland. News of the week on crntalk.com that you are hearing at The View from Over Here.
Well, before you go news of the week, I have to apologize to our audience because at the opening our microphones were dead.
Oh.
Oh, no.
What about now? Are they dead now?
I don't know. Are they alive, Paul?
Wake
They're
up.
alive.
You know how to wake him up? Let's drop a couple of F-bombs.
No, he just did a Donald Sterling apology.
Donald? You mean he's going to talk about Donald Gate? I don't believe it.
Well, the only thing his apology lacked was sincerity.
Well, he shouldn't have did it. He shouldn't have done that himself. He should have had an attorney talk about Magic Johnson, because once you say bad things on the radio, you know, it's there forever. You can't take it. There are no backies. You can't take it back.
Tape lives
You should have had an attorney do those things.
And you don't say anything bad about Magic Johnson.
No, you don't.
Well, anyway, he stuck his foot in that one.
Okay,
all right,
start at the beginning.
Let's get to the news of the week.
Yay.
Da-da-da-da-da.
All right, my very first two-wheeler bicycle, which was a Raleigh. Never heard of that name, I bet. Anyway, that cost about $45 back in 1947, and that was with all the trimmings a long time ago.
Was that a three-speeder or a...
It was a regular. We didn't have three speeds, and it was one speed, as fast as you could pedal.
Yeah, I remember that they used to have what we call the English racers.
Yeah, well, that was for people that had money like you. I didn't have money.
The Schwinn was a big bike.
This was a Yiddish racer.
Yeah. Anyway, how would you like a Mazda 2 mountain bike? Okay, it goes for about $1 million. Why so expensive? Because it's 24-karat gold.
And you need a 24-karat gold bike. Why?
I didn't need it. I mean, if you want it, if you want one now, you could have one.
That is so crazy.
$1 million.
Yeah, well, has Marilyn put in her bid for a Christmas gift or a Hanukkah gift?
No, not yet.
But she will.
We have to talk about the news of the week.
Are you listening, Marilyn?
No, she's still sleeping. Anyway, at one time, you know that the average population of this country changed every year. It was about 20%. Okay? That took into account everybody who moved, people who lived in one place all their life, or people who moved every other month because of one reason or another. Now, some states have more going out and some have more coming in. The states that have the most going out, New York, New Jersey, and Illinois. And the states that have the most coming in, North and South Carolina and Oregon. Did you know that? No, you didn't know that.
Well, you know why? Because the bridges were stopped, especially in New Jersey.
You're absolutely so you did know. Anyway, tattoos. You have a tattoo, Malcolm?
Yeah, but I can't say where.
All right, don't tell me we. I really don't.
Film at 11.
But about 7 years ago, 13% of our population, adult population, had at least one tattoo, and now that's up to 20%, or 1 out of every 5, and most of it due to females getting in on the bandwagon with tattoos.
How dare they? Did that sound believable?
They dare and they dare.
I'm not sure how I feel about women having tattoos. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't.
I have a great joke about tattoos, but not for this program.
Not for the show.
Not for the show.
Be careful, Paul. Be on the alert.
Pension and pensioners. Malcolm, you're not on. Are you on pension?
I wish I were.
Okay, you're not. Okay, you're still too young. They've been in the news lately. Pension and pensioners. Okay, they've been making the headlines, and one such recipient, her name is Irene Triplett, age 84. And she collects $73.13 a month from the government because of her father's military experience in the Civil War. Can you imagine that? She's the last survivor of Civil War pensioners or beneficiaries of pensioners still alive. How about that?
How old was she? Where is she?
Okay, one more item.
She's 84.
Okay, and
84.
a few weeks
she lives
ago,
in
we spoke
Yochupet,
about
so-
the new planet that was discovered, Kepler 186f. It's about 500 light years away. It lies within the Goldilocks zone of its own sun. Therefore, it's Earth-like, right size, etc., etc. Perhaps a place where life could or might develop. Well, if they had a telescope there that was powerful enough to see us, you know what they would see? All they would see would be dinosaurs walking around because of the distance and the time that it takes for light to travel 500 light years.
Wow.
They could see the beginning of the Earth?
I don't know if
That's
we go
amazing.
back that far. But anyway, we have two very interesting guests in the studio today, other than myself and Malcolm. We have Michael Herman, who's going to talk to us about writing and scribbling.
Well, Michael, you don't have to really use a headset.
No, it looks more professional.
It looks more professional, but I
And he
don't think it's on.
But I have no sound coming through them.
But speak into the
Can you mind?
but speak into the microphone. Because otherwise,
Is this better?
much better.
And we have
But I
one
can't
other
hear
guest
anything.
today. The female giggling that you hear is from Karen Page, who is a world-renowned psychic. Okay?
Woohoo!
Was it psychic or psychotic? I don't remember which
No,
one.
my
No,
mother used
psychic.
to say physic.
We are
My daughter, the
Malcolm,
physic.
we are psychotic for doing what we do. She is
Aw.
a psychic, okay? And Michael Herman is a writer of I was going to say ill repute.
There we go.
Not
Awesome.
ill
Thank
repute,
you.
but of
There's a button there that gives volume.
okay, Paul, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be in the control room.
Well,
He's
pu-
making
Plus, he was
everything work,
controlling-
Stan.
He's too controlling. I have to give him an F-bomb or two to delete.
well, what would his sign be?
Whose sign?
If he's a controlling person. Is there a
You mean
zodiac?
besides
a zo-
stop being a putz?
I don't know.
Can I make an observation?
Sure.
Miss Page is the only one on this show right now that does not have a New York accent.
Because she's the only one that's not from New York.
I was born and raised right here.
Unbelievable.
Where are you
That's
from?
pretty observant
New York?
of you.
No.
I grew up in Rockland County, New York, actually about 8 miles from where Stan lived about a month before I met him.
That's amazing.
His daughter was the first girl that I ever met when I moved to California in 1979. We went to school together, and she said she was from Rockland County, New York. I never met anybody else who even knew where Rockland County was.
Well, they were waiting for you to mention it. That's why. There are a couple of other people that live there.
I've met 3
Nodding
people
yes.
in my life, other than his daughter, who've told me that they're from Rockland County.
Well, it's
like finding
that's an
it's like finding people that have the golden egg or something.
Well, see, I feel like I'm going to wind up under glass in the Smithsonian
because
I'm the only native Californian I know.
Oh, I've met a lot of native
I'm not
Californians.
like from Ohio or Yochupetsville or Pickett Place.
Yochupetsville, wow.
You know?
Well, I know wherever I go, I meet someone from Brooklyn, and generally
Yes.
from someone that went to my high school. And there's a DJ out there, a host, Dennis Prager, who has a
Oh,
show.
yeah.
I know Dennis.
Yeah,
I know his son.
We all, yeah.
right, and he says that probably we'll find out that the beginning of a civilization started in Brooklyn.
Of course.
Not that you're
Just
afraid
that
he's
people
Brooklyn.
from Brooklyn think that.
Well, isn't it true?
I don't know. My dad's from Brooklyn.
My mom was from
I know him
Brooklyn.
well.
What high school did you go to?
Lincoln.
My dad went to Madison.
That's a rival.
You?
I played
Jefferson.
against them.
What?
I went to Jefferson.
Was that in Brooklyn?
Of course.
Oh.
Where else?
Hey, where's Lou Zigman when we need him?
Well, he went to,
Who
I
was
think,
that?
Lincoln High School
Lou went to
until he
Lincoln.
moved out to
No,
California.
he was a guest of ours. He started the New York Alumni Association.
Oh, I remember that. I remember when he used to meet at Nathan's
Right.
in Encino.
So there's a group of about, I would say, about 2 million people out in Los Angeles that were born in Brooklyn.
Which is why I feel so at home.
And the other 5 people
It's true.
were natives.
Yeah.
You know what's
what,
amazing
when
to me?
anybody says to me, "Are you from Brooklyn?" My answer is, "Well, isn't everyone?"
Everybody?
You know what is amazing to me is how many successful people, like influential people, are from Brooklyn. It's amazing how much talent and
quite a lot. Quite a number.
and wealth came out of Brooklyn. Forget New York.
That's the truth. Well, it's our gene pool.
Well, speaking of Brooklyn, and have you guys seen the Brooklynettes?
The who?
There used to be the New Jersey Nets.
The who?
The NBA Brooklynettes. They're playing for they're playing Miami Heat. I mean, they're down, but they're still a great team now.
Well, they're going to lose to Miami.
No, they're not. Yes, they will, probably.
I never heard of them.
You never heard the Brooklynettes?
No.
This is the first year
And this lady is a psychic, and she never heard of them.
Yeah, but she has a blind eye to basketball.
No, that's not true.
Can you predict winners?
I don't do sports.
Not
for
do you
that.
do lotto numbers?
Yeah.
No.
If paid enough, can we get you to do some sports predictions?
No.
Well, I have...
Unless it's the only sports... I'm sorry, Stan. The only sports predictions I do are things like when I predicted that Jerry Rice would have that major injury, and everybody said, what are you, insane? This is a guy that's, like, invincible and doesn't hurt himself. And I went, this one's going to...
Did you predict the O.J. verdict?
Yes.
Well, Karen, I have a question I want to ask you, but not on the air. I'll ask a jury commercial.
Okay.
Not with 1 million people listening all over the planet.
Why? But it's just us.
Right.
Right.
Well, is anybody listening to the show? Please raise your hands.
Between us.
You have to remember, this is digital, so number one, it's all over the planet, and number two, once you say it, it's there forever. There are no backies.
I know.
Yes,
By the way, hi, everybody. I have clients all over the world, so this is a perfect way to say hello to them.
No, very good. Do that. Yeah. We have people calling in. Well, when we used to have call-ins, but then we cut it out because
it takes too much time.
It takes too much time away, and especially if you get a nutcase calling in.
The Michiganer.
Yeah, and even if they're legitimate.
Well, we only have 1 hour. We only have 1 hour a week. If we could expand the show, now listen. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, we could do 5 hours of the week.
We're not even an hour. We're only by the time we get done with the commercial.
We're 48 minutes.
48 minutes.
So there's no time. But when we come back from the break, which we're not going to yet, but we'll talk more about what it means to be a psychic.
Oh, I'd be
delighted. And what you can do.
You got it.
Okay, also, Michael, we want to talk to you about how you motivate people in their writing field, their writing business, or whatever they think they want to write about. Because in L.A., everybody thinks that they could be a writer and make gazillions.
Everyone has... You go to Hollywood Boulevard and stop people. They're either writing a book, thinking about writing a book...
Or they're going to be a waiter.
Or they're
I'm sorry.
Or they are a waiter.
They are a waiter.
Or a bartender, or, you know...
But bartenders make a lot of money. So do waiters in a good restaurant.
Yeah, some of them make more than writers.
Well, you know, those are the guys that you meet on Hollywood Boulevard when they tell you they're a writer, and you say, "So what do you really do?" That's what I heard that for 35 years.
I don't know if
really
Hollywood Boulevard is the right reference for that. Comment.
Okay, Melrose would probably be better. Or Wilshire, yeah.
La Brea.
La
Brea, yeah, in the tar pits.
Yeah, well, and what do you think exactly
those
the
tar pits,
dinosaurs were doing in there?
I've always thought that the tar pits would be a great way for, let's say, a criminal group to get rid of a body. You toss them over the fence, they sink into the tar.
It takes about 100,000 years for it to sink into the tar. So if you've got a long time to wait for the body to disappear...
Do you think, I have to ask you, Michael, do you think that the reason all those dinosaurs were found together in that place...
witnessed the crime at the same time.
Hold on to the thought. We're coming up to a break. You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on CRN Digital Talk Radio and carried on the World Wide Web at crntalk.com. And we'll be right back in a few minutes with our guests, so stay tuned.
Yeah, Karen Page and Michael Herman.
The Trees, an epic novel by Stan Weisleder, told in the Godfather fashion. with 2/3 of the book taking place in Las Vegas and describing the transition from the mob to Howard Hughes to corporate America. This book is Las Vegas. Jim Santangelo from the International Brotherhood of Teamsters said, "I didn't grow up in New York or Las Vegas. I grew up in Jersey City, but I know everyone in this book. I loved it." Hal Rothbart, publisher, says, "I wish I had written it." The Trees by Stan Weisleder.
Here's a diabetic news alert from the Diabetic Health Agency. Diabetic studies now show that 1 out of 3 people have a chance of becoming diabetic in their lives, and nearly 5,000 people are diagnosed daily. The good news is that if you effectively manage your blood sugars, you will be ahead of the game. The Diabetic Health Agency will help you manage your diabetes with education programs, reliable customer support, and top-notch testing supplies. And if you are covered by Medicare or private insurance, we can help by sending your supplies directly to your door at little or no cost to you. When you join our diabetes education program, direct access to our team of experienced diabetes consultants is just a phone call away. Call now and learn how to get your free diabetes care kit when you join our program. 800-808-5181. 800-808-5181. Again, 800-808-5181.
Welcome back to the No Monthly Mortgage Payment Show.
No doubt you've heard the programs and commercials talking about reverse mortgages. You know, with the famous actors, or they used to be famous actors, telling you how you can eliminate your monthly mortgage payment, still own your home, and live the life of your dreams. Well, most of it's true, but you need to get all the facts. Call now for 7 secrets of reverse mortgages. Call 800-436-9870. This simple-to-read brochure includes information about possible hidden fees, which program benefits you and not the bank, and how to negotiate better terms. Let's put a stop to all the games. Call now to get the facts. Operators are standing by. Call 800-909-1247. That's 800-909-1247. 800-909-1247.
Homeowners, there's never been a more affordable time to help protect your home and loved ones. You can now get a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, with the installation of a new ADT monitored system. Call Protect Your Home today at 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. Call now. 36-month monitoring contract required. General terms and conditions apply. Visit protectyourhome.com/terms.
Now you're on.
Hi.
Where's the camera?
Right here.
Go.
Oh, it's right there.
We're back. Okay, pay attention. We're going to take attendance right now. If anybody's not here, you'll be marked absent. All right. Michael, why don't you tell us a little bit about your motivational tricks and how you motivate people in their writing and to hone their writing skills?
Well, let's see. In terms of honing your writing skills, my expertise is not so much in the craft of writing. I shouldn't say in the art of writing. It's in the function of writing.
Michael, try not to turn away from the mic.
It's getting your... Is that better?
Yeah, much better. Is that good, Paul?
It's getting your
Paul
book,
nodded. Your
mission, your message out and deliverable. A lot of people procrastinate and avoid and
It's absolutely true.
Just do everything they can not to get their message out for whatever reason. And it's a pity because we're all put here on this earth for a reason, and that's to share our love and our heart and our message. And we all have unique perspectives on the world. And all of our journeys are special. So even if nobody wants to buy it or read it, it's important for everybody to be willing and able to put their stuff down and get it out. And that's what my expertise is in teaching, coaching, and enabling people to get their message out, whether it's through a book or a screenplay or a speech or a dramatic piece or whatever it is. And I have certain practices that I've created over the past 35 years of writing that
You're not old enough to do anything for 35 years. What are you talking about?
Well,
You look like a baby.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I had my first book published when I was 12 years old.
See, I rest my case. You're not old enough to do anything for 35 years.
But off the mic, you were telling an interesting story of what happened to you as I think when you were a child. How old were you?
I was 5.
5.
So basically my expertise in life comes from the fact that when I was 5 years old, I fell 12 feet through a platform, landed on my head on a concrete slab, and had 4 craniotomies, which are brain surgeries, after which I went into a coma for a month. And when I emerged from the coma, I was paralyzed, blind, and aphakic. I couldn't see, I couldn't move the left side of my body, and I couldn't speak. So I had to teach myself how to speak, how to move the left side of my body, and how to see again, because in 1971, it was much different than today, where today there are all these different rehabilitative and therapeutic techniques and strategies to get people back when they've had traumas. In 1971, that wasn't the case. In 1979, that wasn't the case. In 1987, that wasn't the case. So I had to teach myself how to function and how to excel and exceed and excel in a world that didn't have the ability to let me do that. So I had to literally forge my path through jungles where there was no path. And that's from where all of my expertise comes. It comes from not only that experience when I was 5, but my entire life has been about obstacles and finding the way to get it done.
Them.
Because even today I still battle with visual and perceptual deficits, with cognitive setbacks. But you know, my mother asked me over dinner a couple of months ago with my sisters and my wife, she said, "Tell me something no one knows about you." And I thought for a second, and I said, every day my disabilities get in my way, and every day my disabilities don't get in my way.
Well, do you think because of what happened, there were different parts of your brain, or I guess your brain, that developed? Because sometimes, you know, people, you know, if one path is closed, they develop another path.
I do think so. I do think that was the case with me. When I was 5 and I was blind and going through that trauma, that experience, those experiences, I had to find ways to communicate with the world so that they knew how to help me, because they didn't know what I needed, and I didn't know how to. If I couldn't speak and I couldn't move my body, I couldn't say, I couldn't communicate with them what I needed from them. So I had to find ways to teach myself how to speak and how to communicate.
Well, Michael, do you use that background to, when you motivate other people, because I know, because I've gone through it myself, when you start to write something the very, very, very first time, you're looking at a blank sheet of paper. Okay, what do I do with this blank sheet of paper? You know, how do you get started? Do you use what you went through to help people overcome that obstacle?
Stan, you know, I'll answer by saying it this way, is the only way to get started is to just do something. If it's writing your book, just sit down and write something.
Absolutely.
The hardest thing to write is the first page. The hardest mile to bike is the first mile.
Okay, Michael, hold on to that thought. We have coming up to a break.
Another commercial?
You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on CRN Digital Talk Radio, and carried on the World Wide Web at crntalk.com. And you can also access our show at www.viewfromoverhere.com. Remember, no there. I'm from Brooklyn. What do you want? No the. Okay, guys, hang on, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Very funny.
Do you owe the IRS?
That's no fun.
Hopefully you've paid up already. If you can't pay it back all at once...
The IRS does allow people to create payment plans.
I'm Aileen Ellis. This is Primetime Focus. AARP financial educator John Dolphinet.
The taxpayer pays a certain amount every month until they have paid everything they owe. Now, there are some fees associated with setting this up, and you can end up paying a higher amount of interest. So it's not a great option, but it's certainly better than not paying your taxes.
When you don't pay, the IRS can levy your salary, your bank accounts, and put a lien on your home. But once in a blue moon, Uncle Sam will compromise.
If they meet with you and they conclude that you'll never be able to pay what you owe them, sometimes they're willing to do a workout deal and deem it paid in full.
That's Primetime Focus, brought to you by AARP. Hear all our programs on the web at aarp.org/radio.
Hi, folks. This is Larry Minetti, and many of you out there suffer from skin problems. Well, I've been telling you for months how to solve that problem. It's called Herman. It's the most unique and effective formula on the market. It cleans your skin from the inside out. It gets rid of all kinds of acne on your back, your neck, your face, so you can feel and you could look like a movie star. Herman is a natural supplement. It was created by Dr. Wayne Diamond and his staff, and trust me, this really works. I've been on these supplements for over a year now and never had a problem. There is no reason in the world to wake up and be afraid to look in the mirror. You trust Larry. Just try it. Call 888-467-4200. 888-467-4200.
How deep in debt are you? $10,000? $15,000? Maybe even more? And every day that goes by, you know what happens. Your debt gets larger and larger and larger. Well, if you've had it with your mushrooming debt problem and the stress it is causing you, make this free call today to the Debt Solutions Network. One quick, no-obligation call is all it takes for one of our partner companies to show you how they can help you get out of debt. So if you have $10,000 or more in combined debt and you want to learn how you can solve it, make this free, no-obligation call now.
800-814-5108. 800-814-5108.
If you are in serious debt, you have to get out of it and fast. Call my friends at the Debt Solutions Network now.
800-814-5108. 800-814-5108. Call us 24/7. 800-814-5108.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented Thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5208. That's 800-953-5208. 800-953-5208.
Someday there'll be a cure. Someday we won't lose the people we love. But when is someday? Someday is today. Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, hundreds of thousands diagnosed with blood cancer are today living a normal life. We're making cures happen. Join us. Call 888-HELP-LLS. Go to LLS.org. Help us reach today sooner.
Okay, we are back. This is Stan Weisleder on The View from Over Here, and we are broadcasting on crntalk.com all over the whole planet. In fact, it goes out beyond the planet, so if you are on Kepler 186F, you will hear us. It may take a while for the signal to get there, but you'll hear us.
But as you said, they'll hear us in another 800,000 years, 800,000 years.
500 light years away from now.
We'll always be alive. Well, that's why we want to find out who.
Let me ask you something. Is it an honor to have something named after you that's 500 light years away? Isn't it better to have something that's like 1 light year away where you won't be sold when they find out that it was named after you?
Well, but there's nothing that is 1 light year away.
But Stan, Michael,
there's nothing 1 light year away?
When you realize we're all just a speck of sand on the beach of life, does
Wait a
it
minute.
really matter?
Stan, is that true? There's nothing 1 light year away? Because I have plans for a light year from now.
Michael, the nearest star system is about 3.5 light years away. Nothing in between. A lot of space.
But I imagine when you're on your way there, it could be a light year, 3.5 light years. Who cares at that point?
You better load up your iPod before you get on that
listen,
trip.
Karen, I wanted to ask you about your ability
Yes, sir.
I know there are there are a lot of people out there that claim to be psychics, and people make fun, and they say, well, call the psychic hotline if you have a problem. And there are people that soak other people, but you seem to be the real thing. But I'd like to know, tell us about what you've done and what kind of experiences you've had, whether they be with police agencies, individuals. Tell us, entertain us.
Well, the best reference I can ever give anybody is that I have a lot of the same clients for over 40 years, and I still read for them and their grown children now. I worked on murder cases all over the world. I did the Hillside Strangler case here.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I did that. Was it? Yeah, it was a big hit. Let me tell you, as serial murderers go.
Well, the thing is, how do you, when in your everyday life, do you get premonitions? Do you feel things? Or you walk along like normal, like us?
Well, no. I mean, when I was, it's always been, my gift is always on. Okay, it doesn't it doesn't have some off-on switch. It's always on.
So if someone passes you in the street, do you get
there's always information coming in, but I'm very respectful of people's privacy. I'm not the person that's going to walk up to somebody in Trader Joe's parking lot and go, oh, by the way. Right. It's none of my business, and I'm very respectful. And if you want to know something, ask me.
Do you think you could change what's going to happen?
Absolutely.
I read your book with the driver.
Right. I have a book out called My Life Across the Table.
And you have to tell our listeners where they can get it.
1 second. They are all true stories. Every single word of the stories are true. I changed everybody's name except Peter Herkos, Gene Dixon's, and mine. But everyone...
Who's Peter Herkos?
Peter Herkos was the psychic that worked on the Boston Strangler case. And he was a painter from Holland that fell off a ladder and hit his head, funny enough.
I don't think that's funny.
You don't? What's wrong with you?
Sound familiar, huh?
Yeah, and
Karen,
woke up with these...
Karen, there was a guy before you by the name of Edward Casey.
Oh, I loved Edward Casey. Edgar Casey.
Okay, Edgar. Okay, Casey.
Yes.
There were about
the Sleeping Prophet.
Yes, yes. There were about 3 or 4 books about him. I remember reading
more.
them.
More. Yeah,
well, 3 or 4 that I read.
Well,
okay.
he could not... He had absolutely no gift when he was awake.
Right, he
had
asleep.
to go into an altered state to get the information. I read exactly like I talk, which could be a good thing or a bad thing.
So you're awake while you do it.
Yes, and
okay.
I ask my clients to record their readings because I read in a great deal of detail. I'll tell you, it's funny, I always say that people think that somebody's coming to me to find out if they're going to meet a tall, dark stranger on the pier.
That was the question I was wanting to ask you.
1 second.
Isn't that how the Boston Strangler got started?
Ooh. And I always tell them, please don't come to me unless you actually are going to meet a tall, dark stranger on the pier. But I'll tell you on what day, what time, what the weather's going to look like, where he's from.
If you can give us his address now, we can stop him from committing the crime.
How many siblings he has, if he's been married or divorced. It's a lot of detail.
Okay,
That's why I want people to record it.
Oh, okay. So if I ask you a question like, will the Israelis be able to settle their differences with the Palestinians? Is that something within your ability?
Well, I can tell you that you and I both know that this has nothing to do with Arabs and Jews. This is not about them being Palestinians and us being Jewish. Okay, it has nothing to do with that because they lived together for a zillion years
and fought together for a zillion years.
But this is a political issue. They've lived side by side,
killing each other for millennia.
But wait a minute. And that's usually when somebody's, excuse me, I'll keep this clean, stirring the pot, okay, it's to you go after them because so and so said. You're dealing with not highly educated people.
Can I tell you something? The Jews and the Palestinians or Arabs, the Republicans and the Democrats, nobody's ever going to get along until
Because
Mac
their
and
egos-
Windows can get along.
Until what?
Mac and Windows can be
Mac and
compatible.
That's very funny. Yeah. Well, that'll happen before the Middle East
Well,
is
well,
solved.
I have a question for you. Now, when you read the newspaper,
Oh,
do you get? Do you?
You're going to love this. My ex-husband used to say he loved watching the news with me because I would talk back to the TV and say, that's not what happened. So when I read the newspaper, it's the same exact thing. That is absolutely not what happened.
How have you? I can imagine, like if I was watching something or seeing somebody pass by, and I get some sort of premonition about them, I'd be tapping them on the shoulder, saying, "Excuse me, or I just felt."
Oh,
how
well,
do you
but
control
see,
yourself?
that's not how well, because really I'm very respectful of people's privacy. And if somebody wants to come for a reading, because I do business consulting, I was telling Stan earlier, I have clients and have read for people and have lived all over the world. And I have clients from garbage collectors to kings, heads of state and CEOs, and actual real housewives, not the ones of New Jersey or Beverly Hills.
Oh, not those, not
those people.
Not the real housewives.
Yeah, right. No, actually, the real housewives.
The real housewives.
Yeah. Students and people that are starting businesses. And
you know what, Karen? 500 years ago, if you lived 500 years ago, they would burn you at the stake.
Yeah.
Alive.
And
Is that off the table for today?
That's why what? Steak? I'm for steak. Let's go.
According to Sharia law, would you be stoned?
She's stoned right
personally,
now.
I've never done drugs, so I would not be.
No,
stoned.
I mean.
No,
Did
you actually think? Am I blonde?
Yeah. I don't have that.
Bada bing. She's
Bada
here
bing,
through
yeah.
Thursday, folks. Probably, yeah. Or they'd be so scared of me they would run, and I'd be living in a hut by myself. But it's funny because when people meet me, it's the last thing on the planet they think I ever do.
Oh, right. But when they find out.
Yeah, then they kind of go, really?
Does that interfere with friendship?
No, because actually I don't have one living family member. I don't have one blood relative, but I have this enormous family of friends that have all come to me through my work.
But do they constantly talk? What's going to happen?
No,
should I do
because
this?
after a while, it's kind of hard when I'm making chicken or Thanksgiving dinner, and it's kind of hard to remember that's what I do.
When
I
they
actually have a real life.
Yeah, and what about when they ask you for stock market tips?
Oh, I've done lots of that. I have clients in Texas that should erect a monument in my honor.
We got to talk after the show. Okay.
Yep.
Especially, with the
Did you know a psychic named George Roman? Do you know that name? He's been gone a little while.
I was going to say that the name is sort of vaguely familiar. Yeah.
He was a friend of mine who's now deceased, but he was an amazing psychic.
Oh, he's probably hanging out with Gene and Peter.
Probably Peter.
You mean up wherever.
Peter was lovely, a lovely man. It's so funny because the first time I got a phone call from somebody, when I would ask them, how did you find me? They would say I was referred by Gene Dixon or Peter Herkos, and I would say, really? I was a kid. I was a little kid.
Karen, as a psychic, do people ever ask you the question, what happens and where do we go when we die?
Well, if they think this is the end of it, how sad is that? Yeah, I do. I get asked that a lot.
Well, some people look forward to the end of it.
What do you tell
that's
them?
the end of this.
My grandmother used to say, I wish I were dead, and she got her wish.
You know what? And it is the
this
one
is a tough
thing. It's the one thing we all share in common on the planet. We're all going to die.
We were all born also.
Well, and we're all built for obsolescence.
Well, I think it was Harry Houdini said that, because I know, at least according to the movie, that when his mother passed, he tried all these psychics and trying to contact her and expose them as
Henry
phonies.
Ford.
And he said that if there's a way of coming back, he will.
That was the word.
Henry Ford kept trying to reach his mother, found out she was in the trunk.
Bada bing! That was good.
So anyway, Karen, what do you tell people when they ask you that question?
I'm sorry?
What do you tell people when they ask you that question that people have been asking from the beginning of time?
Well,
what happens afterwards?
I believe that there are many... This is just the Karen Page theory. I believe there are many worlds of God. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care how you pray, if you wear a hat, if you eat kosher, if you are Catholic or Christian. I don't care what you call it. There is certainly something a great deal bigger than us. And I believe that it's God. That's what I call it.
Well, you said personally, so it's not a psychic type of feeling? Is this a personal?
No, I'm telling you, this is my personal feeling, because it is what and I have friends from every possible background, from everywhere in the world. My house looks like the UN when I have a dinner party. Okay? And I don't care what religion they are or how
How's the parking?
It's fabulous, actually, but thanks for asking. So I believe that the soul is the only thing that is meant to be embodied in whatever this casing is, and that's the only thing that lives, survives death.
Well, it reminds me, I don't know if you've ever seen or been by somebody who's alive and then at that moment of death.
Absolutely, I have.
And there's totally a different feeling.
Well, it's like an empty vessel.
People. Right.
Have you ever seen the movie?
Yes, probably.
Gosh, it was just the name was just in my brain now.
Yeah, but Karen knows the name.
Ghosts.
12 grams or something about when the body leaves.
Yes.
What was that movie?
I don't think it's
12
called
grams?
12 grams. I think it's called 30, isn't it?
No, it's called something grams.
It's called something.
Yes.
It's about the weight.
The weight.
It came down to the
There's a movie called 21 grams.
Yeah. 21 grams.
Yeah.
That's
it.
But I know that there, and just viewing it, and I don't know if it's perspective or not of mine, but viewing that person when they are alive,
they're not
and
there.
even though they're in a coma and something,
they're not
there's something alive in their body, and all of a sudden when the doctor says, "Well, I'm sorry, they passed,"
Malcolm,
and the body looks different.
Because
I don't know if it's my perception.
How many times have you seen that?
The essence of the person, our soul, when we die, we've left, and the book cover is all that's left.
Oh, well, keep that info. I don't know if we should think about that during our break.
Well, of course we all should.
But
we'll think about it when we go to the bathroom.
I need
some
potty
Prozac
break now.
now.
You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on CRN Talk, Digital Talk Radio, and carried on the World Wide Web at crntalk.com. And you can hear our shows on www.viewfromoverhere.com. No, the. Stay tuned.
It's very
and
confusing when you say that.
Or not.
But you're confused.
I'm always confused.
We'll be back there in a few minutes to sign off.
2 days apart.
Bye.
Time's running out. You're maxed out on your credit cards. The collection calls are coming every day, and now you're 2 payments behind on your mortgage. Every time you turn on the radio, there's some cheerful couple telling you how they got out of debt overnight. Their stress is gone, and everything's just wonderful. Come on. The truth is, what sounds too good to be true is too good to be true. Banks don't build skyscrapers so you can walk in and settle your credit card debt for pennies on the dollar. You need real help, and you need it now. Not bankruptcy, that should be your last choice. We're Credit Card Relief, and we've been helping people just like you for nearly a decade. We're the only attorney-driven program dedicated to helping you get out of debt in months instead of years, saving you thousands, and without risking your family home. We know what we're doing, and we don't make promises we can't keep. The consultation is free, and the relief is real.
800-981-7595. 800-981-7595. 800-981-7595.
A Killer of Lions by Stan Weisleder. There were 4 squadrons of black fighter pilots during World War II that had to fight 2 air forces in order to gain recognition, the Luftwaffe and the U.S. Army Air Corps. The HBO special and the recent attempt at a full-length feature film do not come close to the full and true story of these brave men. They were not ball players, they were not rap singers, they were fighter pilots and American heroes in the truest sense. A Killer of Lions by Stan Weisleder.
Is it hard for you to lose weight? Let's face it, weight loss can be tough. But the good news is, it just got a little easier. Introducing Ultimate Slim, the amazing supplement that not only includes Garcinia cambogia, raspberry ketones, and green tea, but also one of the most highly researched green coffee bean extracts. Even Dr. Oz talks about the benefits of this unique botanical that has been clinically shown to help you if you're overweight. And it's the only green coffee bean extract he mentions because it has all the science behind it. Anything else is a knockoff. This same green coffee bean extract can be found in Ultimate Slim. Help fight the fat while promoting energy naturally. You'll love the results. Try Ultimate Slim risk-free today. Call in the next 10 minutes and get a free cookbook. This offer won't last forever, so call now for details.
800-507-9468. 800-507-9468. 800-507-9468. That's 800-507-9468.
As a small business owner, there's one word that you absolutely dread: payroll. For small businesses, it's a big burden. You may think you're saving time and money doing it yourself. But come on, are you? Timesheets, processing checks, calculating taxes, a total waste of your time. Paychex simplifies payroll processing, saving you time and money. Submit your payroll online, fax it in, or call your dedicated Paychex payroll specialist. And you're done! Learn more at trypaychex.com. Come on, do the math. The IRS dishes out 8 million penalties a year. Make one mistake and you're on the hook. On average, you're losing nearly 1 business day every month doing payroll. That's time and money you'll never get back, unless you get Paychex. More than 500,000 small businesses already do. Call 888-578-5378. Trade payroll pressure for peace of mind. Call now. 888-578-5378. That's 888-578-5378.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
We are back. Can you hear me, Paul? Is this live, or are we doing an Uncle Don? Come on.
Well, I don't know. I'm live. I don't know about you.
I think I'm live.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is Stan Weisleder in the studio with Malcolm Burman, Michael Herman, and Karen Page.
You got to be
on the View from Over Here, crntalk.com.
But we only have like a minute or so, right?
Oh, no.
We have 4 minutes.
4 minutes, according to
4
Paul.
minutes go by
fast.
I know.
All right. Karen,
Yes.
here to make a good prediction? I don't want to hear a bad prediction. Give me a good one.
I don't believe they're bad predictions.
Is the Miami Heat going to win the championship?
And by how many
So
points?
what was the question, Stan?
Well, you just heard the question.
No,
Is
that's
there
not
a
the
more
question.
relevant
Remember
question?
the sports conversation?
Oh, you don't do sports.
Right.
Okay.
Michael, she does only people, not sports.
Okay, how about, what's the name of the guy that owns the Clippers right now?
That's sports.
Donald Sterling.
It's people. Is Donald Sterling going to walk away, or?
Never. Well, he will be forced to walk away, and Shelley will also be forced to walk away.
One other question, Karen. Would you come to Las Vegas with me next weekend?
Is it a family? We're coming with the family?
You can come with the family. I don't care. As long as, as long as you're with me at the crap table.
People heard you say that. There are no backies. Once that's out there, it's out there. Karen, Anna is listening.
Can I tell you something? She knows she's safe. He's safe with me.
Oh, okay.
I'm protecting her interests. She got nothing to worry about.
I got it.
Would you be banned from the casinos if they knew?
Oh, yeah.
Are you a card counter?
Not a chance. I don't have the patience for that.
So what can you do? Can you predict what number's going to come up on the roulette table?
No, I just walk past things and kind of get a feeling, and I stop and...
Yeah, definitely.
Can you
you're
force
included
the
with
dice
the family.
to roll over from 5-1 to 5-2?
Is what? Is what?
Can you make the dice roll over?
No.
I can.
Because if you could, we have a lot that we could fit in.
But we don't have to do this show. We just Stan has a house in.
But then you have to be in Las Vegas.
No, Stan has a house in Vegas.
Are you a good poker player?
Yes, I used to have a poker game at my house.
And I bet you always won.
Yes, and a friend of mine said, "It isn't fair, Karen. You're a psychic." I said, "Yeah, but the Karen poker game comes with dinner. I mean, can you beat that?"
Yeah,
just leave your money at the front, and we'll give you dinner and the cards.
Yeah, but you had the house at 10% of each pot, right?
No. No.
Seriously, have you ever gone to Las Vegas to partake in any of those activities?
If they waited for me to go to Las Vegas for that, there would be no Las Vegas.
Got it. Okay, so you don't believe in Las Vegas?
No. I'll go to Las Vegas if I'm to enjoy myself. I'll go for a trade show with a friend of mine.
Or if you need any extra cash.
No. That would be the last place I would go.
Anyway, guys, it's at the end of our hour already. And we'd like to thank you very much.
This was a pleasure.
How many seconds, Paul?
And Michael, we'd like to have your wife come on the
60
show.
seconds.
I mean, you can come with her.
She's at cocoandpenny.com.
No, wait a minute. If she comes on, we don't want Michael. Just have her with her mother.
He could stay in the control room.
Okay, Michael could wait in the control room. Yes. You know why he can't come on? We have only 3 seats here. So one for his wife, one for her mother. Michael has to wait in the anteroom.
There's another 3rd seat right down there.
That one doesn't count.
Right, no microphone.
It's out of camera range.
Anyway, and Karen, we want you to come on periodically to tell us what's happening, what will happen.
I would love to. And by the way, they are going to find the Malaysian flight.
Okay, you've heard that. Okay, that's it. You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on CRN Digital Talk Radio and carried on the World Wide Web. And we'll be back next week at the same time at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard.
The View from Over Here is a co-production of Infinity X and TBG International. For further information, contact Malcolm Burman at 818-687-2784. That's 818-687-2784.
CRN Digital Talk Radio prides itself on being the station of every situation. And you can listen to us on nearly any platform and device. Download to your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry episodes of What's Cookin', and take Master Solomon